Welcome back. Next, we will see what is an applet and how we are going to be write a simple applet applications by using this Java platform. So applets are it's a different topic here. It is not even having main method in this. Applets are graphical user interface applications, and usually these run inside a separate window which will which will run separately instead of running inside console based applications. And Java is having a different approach to run applications by means of these applets. Usually applets are small applications that are accessed on an internet server and transported over the internet, automatically installed and run as a part of web documents. So usually these are the things which will come from internet server and which will be deployed inside a web browser, and we can see the content in by using web browsers like Internet Explorer, Mozilla Firefox, and so on. After an applet arrives on the client, just like a web browser, it has limited access of its resources, and it can produce a graphical user interface and run complex computations without introducing the risk of viruses or breaching data integrity. It is having a limited resources, and it can simply deployed and received from a server and deployed in a web browser, and it runs with the support of Java runtime. And applets are used to make the website more dynamic and entertaining. So with the support of these applets, we can build certain dynamic applications, like we can design some graphics to draw lines, circles, even we can design some calculators and so on. So all these things possible by means of this applets. So totally comes under graphical user interface, and it runs inside a separate web window. And usually applets are having certain advantages. It works at client side like web browser with so less response time, and these are the secured. It never carries any sort of viruses, and these run inside Java virtual machine with secured way. It can be executed by a browser running under any platform. It may be of Linux or Windows or Mac OS, whatever the operating system and whatever the browser it is. And applets can happily run inside a web browser. The only drawback here it is it requires a plugins in order to run the applets. So whenever you want to run an applet, so here we didn't require any main method for this particular applications, and we can import basically two packages, AWT package and applet package. So these are the mandatory packages whenever you are invoking any applet. The first one is AWT, Abstract Window Toolkit package. This will interact with the user through AWT and not through the console based. And the AWT contains support for window based graphical user interface. So whenever you are invoking any graphics, we need the support of AWT package. And for creating an applet, we required applet package, which is defined inside applet class. So we need to extend the properties from properties for applet class. And we are having a method, paint method, so which is a part of applet lifecycle. A paint method is a method which is used to draw something on the applet. It is defined by AWT and must be overridden by the applet, and this method is used to display some text on the screen, or to draw a line to show some graphics on the things. We use this paint method. Whenever the applet must redraw its output, paint is called. The paint requires one parameter of type graphics, and we need to create one instance for graphics, and with that particular graphics instance we can invoke the things. It's a simple application, and we'll see more application by using this paint method. And inside paint method we need to define drawstring one method. We are invoking this drawstring by means of this graphics reference. This is a member of graphic class, and the syntax here it is. It requires three parameters. The first one is a message of type string, and second and third are the x and y coordinates. Usually, the x and y coordinates start from upper left corner of the screen. So usually 00 starts from upper left corner of the monitor. So based on the value provided to this method, that is the starting location where it appears the information from that particular x and y coordinate values. And in Java window, okay, applet does not have a main method, so it never requires any main method. So usually the main methods use it to run console applications. Here these are the web, what you can say, window based applications. Usually it never requires, and here we require some init methods, initialization methods. Based on that, the system will identify the starting location and start the execution of applets. An applet begins execution when the name of its class is passed to an applet viewer or network browser. So you can run the applets basically in two ways. Either run through next slide we will see. So whenever you want to run an applet, applets can run in two ways. It may be run inside web browser with appropriate HTML code, and we required one applet tag. So the first scenario here, so whenever you want to run an applet inside a web browser like Internet Explorer, so we need to define that particular class name as applet code and followed by width and height we required. So here applet acts as a tag, HTML tag, and we need to write inside HTML tag with the tag name applet and followed by the code attributes. For code attributes we need to supply the class name, whatever the Java file you compiled, and after compilation we will get the class file. That class file name we need to supply it here in the form of code, and we need to represent the window size, width and height, and close the applet tag. So this applet code is embedded inside HTML tag. So this is a one way of defining running applet. So whenever you just load this HTML file inside a web browser, the web browser automatically loads this applet and runs for us. The second method is we can run the applet by means of a command, Java command, applet viewer. So first we need to compile the code, and once the compilation done successfully, and next we run the application, run the applet by means of applet viewer and followed by the Java file name or whatever the HTML file you require. So both ways we can run this through command. Next we will see a simple example how it appears, how it runs. So say for example if you want to run through command, first we need to write a simple code here. We imported two import statements, awt.star and java.applet.star, and I embedded applet code inside a comment in the Java file itself. In order to run through applet viewer, I just add applet code inside a comment as a part of Java program. Here I mention applet code equal to the class file name simple applet, and width and height I mentioned here, and I ended the applet by representing backslash followed by the applet. These two lines are represented as a comment in this particular Java program. And inside a class, public class, simple applet extends applet, so the class is going to be extend its properties to applet. And inside I define only one method with the name of paint. So usually the paint is used to draw something on the applet, so it takes one parameter of graphics class. So I define paint followed by graphics G, and inside I mention G dot draw string. So here I am just drawing a string. I mean I just show something on the screen like a simple applet, and I mention 2020. So 2020 in the sense x value is 20 and y value is 20. It is the top left corner onwards. It represents the 20 of x and 20 of y. From that it appears a simple applet text on the applet screen. And inside how you are going to be compile the code. So usually you can compile the code by means of Java C followed by the Java file name simple applet.java, and run the application, run the applet by means of applet viewer. It's a command, and we can go through this applet viewer followed by the Java file its name. So here I am not running through class file name, here I am running through Java file. Why? Because the Java itself contains the applet code. So don't confuse, whenever you run the Java programs, usually we supplied the class file here, but here we separate the class file as a part of applet code that is represented inside a comment which is there inside Java file. So for applet viewer command, we need to supply the applet code which is represented inside Java file. So you just pass the same file name simple applet.java to the applet viewer command. It simply runs the application and shows applet like this. So it starts applet window, and we can have a simple applet, and inside we are having one menu applet, and inside the text will appear 2020 x and y axis of 20 and 20, and from that it starts printing a simple applet information. At the bottom it shows applet started, the status of applet. This simple application, you try for this, just copy and paste simple line of information. Only one main method, paint method is there, and you just add simple information and mention the coordinate values of x and y, and copy and save and run the application. Here you are running through command. The command is applet viewer, single word. If you want to run the same by means of HTML file, so here I just remove the comment, whatever I mention applet code inside a comment inside Java file, I just removed that, and everything is same as the previous example. I just added that particular HTML code, applet code inside HTML file. So usually the HTML file will have the starting command, starting tag is HTML, and we need to close HTML by using a backslash. In between, just add applet tag. The applet tag requires the code and one attribute, and we need to mention the value, the class name as simple applet, and width and height we need to represent. And finally, next line, you just close the applet and try to save these 4 lines of information as applet1.html. So the first one is applet simple applet.java is a separate file, and the second it is HTML file. So take a new tab inside Notepad++ and type this information and save it as applet1.html. So and save wherever you are working, current directory, and you save the file as HTML file. Next is you just take that file and store inside Internet Explorer. Just you open the file by means of file open, or drag and drop the applet1.html file inside Internet Explorer. So that particular thing will run for us and shows information as simple applet on the screen. It looks like this. Here the web browser is Internet Explorer, and whatever the application you define, a simple applet1.html file which contains the code of applet. The code is applet code, which is a class file which is compiled by the Java command, and you are just run that particular applet by means of this Internet Explorer. So this is a way of running applets, either by using a command applet viewer, or it may be through HTML file. You just create HTML file and run the application by means of web browser. Just practice once. Next we will see a simple application, and the same things will continue in the 5th unit even, and we are having some examples how to create some graphics by means of applets. So here just we are having only simple information regarding applet here. How we are going to be maintain an applet. So what is the life cycle of an applet? So applet usually contain 5 stages. And the first one is init stage, and second one is start, paint, stop, and destroy. So it looks like this. So whenever you invoke an applet with init method, so we need to call the init method, the system will automatically initialize an applet and it starts to execute. it is a one stage, and initially it starts the method automatically and it comes to the running stage by calling start method. So inside running stage, the system will have certain methods like paint method and some other things which will run for us, and it is a continuous process. So whenever you stop that particular applet, it simply suspends certain time, and whenever we need to restart the same, the system, the particular applet will again come back to the running stage. And the last one is the destroy method. Whenever you invoke the destroy method, this is the last method, and it runs for us only once, and it simply destroys the applet, and it simply suspends that particular applet forever. Here init will calls only once in the beginning, and destroy is called only once at the end. This is a simple diagram for this, and based on we will see a simple example for this. So here I take the same example. I just added the HTML code inside Java program, and in the beginning I added two import statements, import java.awt.star and import java.applet.star, and inside comment I represented applet followed by the code, and I added the class file name within the double quotes, and I mentioned width and height of that particular applet, and close the applet and close the comment. So these lines are meant for to run applet through applet viewer, and inside public class applet lifecycle extends applet, and here I define init method in the first one, and here I set the background of applet with the color sand, and I mentioned some statements like init method called, and next is the start method. So whenever the init method, so on executing this particular applet, the system call the init method in the beginning by at the first time. It is invoked only by only once, and initially after completion of initialization, it automatically call the start method. So here the start method is show something on the screen. I just added a simple statement system.out.println start method called, and automatically it comes to the running stage and it executes the paint method. So it should be done automatically, and it invokes the paint method and shows something on the screen, or show some drawings or lines or graphics or whatever the things you want to run, that should be run based on the paint method. And whenever you suspend or stop the applet, the system automatically stop that particular applet and wait for a certain time, and it re-invoke back by calling the start method and come back to the running stage. And then we are having a destroy method. So whenever you don't want to run that particular applet, and we can stop that applet by destroying that particular applet by invoking this destroy method. See a simple example here. I just compile the code by means of Java C applet lifecycle.java, and run the application by using applet viewer and followed by applet lifecycle.java. So automatically the system invokes the init method and start method and paint method. So these three things done one after one continuously, and it comes to the starting stage, running stage. And with the applet menu, which is appear on the top with the name of applet, you click on that applet and we can have certain states. If you want to destroy, or if you want to what you can say, restart the applet, or if you want to stop the applet, or if you want to paint, clone the applet, all these properties are available inside applet menu. So based on that, the stages are going to be varies in the background. See this simple application by changing the applet states. This is about life cycle of applet. So initially the init method is going to be invoked by once, and it automatically calls the start method. The start method automatically invokes the paint method. So it is comes in the running stage, and at any stage if you want to suspend or stop the running applet, we are invoking the stop method, and it simply moving back to the start method again, and it invokes the paint method. And finally, if you don't want, you just stop the applet by calling the destroy method. It is as same as the block diagram which is represented in this. So these are the few information regarding these applets, and please go through and see practically how these are working. And at any stage if you have any issues, please feel free to contact. And this is all about